Hey everybody. So if you're wondering why this video is in black and white, the reasoning for that is because Alfred Hitchcock, the suspense genius himself, he normally likes to film movies in black and white, or he liked to do something with them that could represent something he was trying to go for in his movie. In this case, Psycho was meant to be a darker story. He didn't have to worry about, big budget Hollywood blood. He could just, get chocolate syrup and use that for the shower scene. So things of that nature is one of many reasons why he liked to use black and white a lot in his movies. Um, but anyway, speaking of Alfred Hitchcock, and I know his biopic's coming out soon too, by the way. Um, my great film wonders question and discussion today is what would happen if Alfred Hitchcock lived a longer life? Like, what would he be doing? Like, let's say he was even living now. He'd be really old now, but he basically, what would he be doing? Like, if he lived through the '90s or possibly even the early 2000s, even that. Um, there was there was actually this actually was found after his death. I guess he was working on a script for another detective story. So one can only assume that that probably would have been his next film after Family Plot, because Family Plot was the last film he did before his death. So he probably would take on another detective story, another Hitchcockish um, detective story of some kind. It would probably would star Jimmy Stewart or Cary Grant or whoever would have been big at the time for a detective lead character. Um, would he have taken on new subject matters altogether? Would he, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith was very different to most of his stuff. Psycho was very different to most of his stuff. What would he be doing, or like The Birds, for example, even? What would he be doing that kind of always take on something new? Still have, a lot of suspense and horror elements into it, scary with suspense. But what would he be doing subject matter wise? Would he be keeping with the same material? Would he be, working with even more different kinds of subject matters? It would have been interesting to see what kind of other stories he would have taken on if he lived longer. Um, I think it is safe to say he probably would use black and white again just for style purposes. Probably like for Psycho, he wouldn't have to worry about big budget Hollywood blood or um, he could play around with good and evil, kind of like what happened with Janet Leigh's bra in the first Psycho movie, where her bra is white at the beginning of the film, and right as she's stealing the money, about to go, drive away with all that money, she has a black bra and represent that she's doing something evil. Things of that nature. I think is why another reason why Hitchcock liked to play around with black and white, just because those colors specifically, the ones that represent good and evil, kind of dark and light. He liked to play around with that kind of stuff, and to make it easier, the whole film became black and white. So I think it is safe to say he probably would use black and white again for at least some type of a style at one point of his stories at some point. Um, would he have pursued different genres? Would he have taken on, like sci-fi or action or a superhero story? Would he have? It would have been interesting to see, specifically if he, like you said, if he lived more toward the mid to late '90s, would he have kind of taken on some special effects of some kind? Um, so I guess questions like that are kind of interesting to see basically what he would have done if he was still around. Would he have helped out other directors? Would he be doing like what Christopher Nolan's doing with Zack Snyder, where pitches the film, is a part of the film, he's a producer, not the director, helping out, is big with the creative decisions, but doesn't direct the movie. He's letting another director shine light on their career. Would Hitchcock have done the same, like what Christopher Nolan is doing? And in fact, Christopher Nolan, if you look on other sites, if he states his inspiration becoming a filmmaker, it'll even say Alfred Hitchcock was one of his inspirations. Um, so it kind of spawns the question: would Hitchcock have done the same? Um, would he have taken on any form of like other adaptations besides books? I know Psycho is based off a book. I think even Vertigo and maybe even Rear Window are based off books too. Um, would he have taken on comic books? Would he have taken on video games? Would he have taken on, like it would have been interesting. I think it would have been, what game is it? Um, like Indigo Prophecy. Would he have taken on that? Would he have taken on like Silent Hill? Would he have taken on, that kind of stuff? Um, so all these things I wanted to bring up because once again, it's another great film wonder of the world. What would he have done if he was still alive or lived a longer life at least? So I wanted to take this video just to kind of talk about that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I have a few more ideas left to come for this great film wonders, and if I come up with more, obviously I'll make more. But as of right now, I have about 2 or 3 more ideas to go with still. So hopefully I will see you guys for the next video.